ones I would look for, the flatiron or the infraspinatus, incredible, second most tender to the tenderloin, packed with flavor. The Teres major, also in the shoulder, very, very tender. The skirt steaks I absolutely love for doing carne asada, just grilled skirt steaks. The outside skirt, which is actually the one inside the rib cage, is significantly more tender than the inside skirt. I also love bavette, and I love top sirloin. I think that it can be so tender, but it's got some chew to it, which is what I want from beef, and it's got so much flavor. The picanha, which is that top sirloin cap or top rump cap. I also don't think there's anything wrong with ground beef. It's very versatile and there's a lot you can do with it. I harvest my own deer as well. And when I first started, I tried to kind of be a hero about, making sure that I was cutting it into all these little cuts. Well, a deer's much, much, much smaller than a cow. And, there's no shame in grinding it because we eat a lot of deer chili in the winter. A tri-tip is another one, a great one that you can look out for. And the other thing that I want to tell you about vacuum sealing, which is really significant, if you've ever heard the term wet aging or any kind of aging of steak, literally vacuum sealed meats are being wet aged. Now, if you freeze them, that aging will stop. But effectively what you're doing is giving them that controlled environment to allow the enzymes to break down some of those connections at the core of the muscle that will tenderize them. It breaks down the Z lines. It will literally tenderize the meat, Shawn, as you let it sit there on your refrigerator for a week or two. So the enzymatic reaction is the same in that you're giving the meat a controlled environment to do its thing and to let those enzymes naturally break down. If you wet age for too long, never leave it past 28 days, and you'll start developing those really sour notes to the meat. Conversely, dry aging can actually improve flavor because it creates a separate flavor profile. First thing that dry aging does, which wet aging does not, it allows the water to leave the meat, which concentrates the beef flavor, which is really interesting. But you want to use a dedicated facility like a dedicated dry aging fridge, and you want it to have humidity control because you need to dial that in exactly to stop seams from opening up in the meat where bacteria can get. If that's happening, you can't medium rare your steaks anymore or rare your steaks because now you've got bacteria inside the muscle and it's no longer sterile. The idea is that in these controlled environments, you can introduce certain desirable bacteria, much like the bacteria or the mold in a blue cheese. And you can develop these nutty, interesting, complex flavors, which is either you love it or you don't, but some people are obsessed with it once they try it. It does need a controlled environment. It needs an understanding of what that environment should be, what you're aiming for, how to trim it once it's aged. You still need to get rid of that rind. For example, as well, those dry aging bags are very popular. Certainly they work a little bit better than a vacuum seal traditionally because they do let moisture out, but they do let off smells from the refrigerator in. So I'm not the hugest fan of them, but they are a safe and cost-effective option for people who are looking to try that.
Annotated and summarized, easy to share with loved ones. The description below the title for this video has these summary points.